Dear students, hello and welcome. Today we will be talking about the emotional intelligence. And students, after finishing this lecture, you will be able to know about the nature of emotional intelligence, self-awareness and self-regulation as aspects of emotional intelligence, internal motivation and empathy, social awareness contributing to emotional intelligence, and the importance of emotional intelligence. Nature of emotional intelligence. Dear students, emotional intelligence refers to the ability possessed by an individual helping him or her to perceive, use, understand, manage and handle emotions. In simpler terms, it means applying intelligence to one's emotions. It is the area of cognitive ability that facilitates interpersonal behavior. It is the science of managing self and connecting with others. It is defined as the ability to recognize, understand and manage our emotions and recognize, understand and influence the emotions of others. Hence, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, use, manage our own emotions in positive ways, to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges and diffuse conflict. Since emotions drive behaviors and impact people either positively or negatively, emotional intelligence involves the ability to perceive, interpret, demonstrate, control and use emotions to communicate with others effectively and constructively. John Mayer and Peter Salovey, the American psychologist, coined the term emotional intelligence in 1987 to describe a person's ability to understand one's own emotions, the emotions of others and act appropriately based on these emotions. Mayer and Salovey wrote, emotional intelligence is the type of social intelligence that involves the ability to monitor one's own and others' emotions, to discriminate among them and to use the information to guide one's thinking and actions. It was Daniel Goleman, a well-known American science journalist and Harvard University professor, who popularized the term emotional intelligence in his book Emotional Intelligence in 1995. He aptly remarked, emotional intelligence refers to the capacity of recognizing our own feelings and those of others, for motivating ourselves and for managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationships. People with high emotional intelligence can recognize their own emotions and those of others. They use emotional information to guide their thinking and behavior. They adjust emotions to adapt to environments. The term emotional intelligence gained popularity in the 1995 best-selling book Emotional Intelligence, written by Daniel Goleman. In simpler words, emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and manage your emotions as well as the emotions of others. Emotionally intelligent people have the ability to identify what they are feeling, know how to interpret their emotions, understand how their emotions can impact others, regulate their own emotions, manage other people's emotions. Although there are some people who inherit high emotional quotient, that is EQ, It is a skill that can be practiced and developed. Research evidences are there that people who are emotionally intelligent manage their lives better. They are found having better relationships, are more successful at work, and are generally more content in their lives. Emotional intelligence consists of the ability to deal with feelings and the ability to communicate. The lack of these skills has far reaching consequences and results in unhappiness and inability to form positive relationships. Now, students, let us understand the components of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to identify and manage one's own emotions, to identify and manage the emotions of others. Terming it differently, emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive and manage the emotions of yourself and others. Emotional intelligence has been split up into 5 different categories or components. For Daniel Goleman, the 5 main elements of emotional intelligence are: first, it is self-awareness, then second one, self-regulation, internal motivation, then it is empathy, social skills, or you may call it social awareness. Now, let us understand the first one. It is self-awareness. Self-awareness refers to the ability to recognize and understand one's moods, motivations and abilities. It also includes to understand the effects these have on others. In other words, self-awareness is the ability to accurately recognize your emotions, strengths, limitations, actions, and understand how these affect others around you. Terming it differently, self-awareness is the ability to evaluate yourself socially and understand how your behavior is being perceived by others. If you are self-aware, you likely have a strong grasp on your own strengths and weaknesses, which means that you know where and how you will be most useful. Daniel Goleman says that in order to achieve a state of complete self-awareness, an individual must be able to monitor their emotional state and identify their emotions. If you possess the trait of social awareness, you think about your emotions in a productive way. It may provide you a greater sense of control over your emotions and help in improving self-efficacy. The emotionally intelligent are highly conscious of their own emotional states, and this self-awareness helps them to manage their emotions in constructive ways. People with high emotional intelligence are not only aware of what emotions they are feeling, but can put words to their feelings. They can also understand the consequences of their emotions. In fact, self-awareness or the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions is a critical emotional intelligence skill. In addition to recognize your emotions, it is being aware of the effect of your actions, moods and emotions on other people. Self-aware individuals recognize their own strengths and limitations and are open to new information and experiences. They learn from their own interactions with others. Daniel Goleman asserts that people who possess self-awareness possess a good sense of humor and are confident in their lives and in their abilities. They are aware of how other people perceive them. Now, it is self-regulation. In addition to being aware of one's own emotions and the impact one has on others, emotional intelligence requires one to be able to regulate and manage his or her emotions. It is only a person has achieved this first component, he or she can move on to self-regulation. Self-regulation is the ability to control one's impulses and remain calm in emotionally trying situations. Self-regulation or self-management refers to the ability to manage your emotions, particularly in stressful situations. It is to maintain a positive outlook despite setbacks. It is the ability to express yourself appropriately. Self-regulation allows people to wisely manage their emotions and impulses. Individuals with a good awareness of their own emotions can better manage their emotions and behaviors. An individual needs to know when to express emotions and when to hold them back. He or she should also be capable of asserting his or her positive feelings such as hope, love, and joy. He or she should also be able to let go the negative emotions such as anger, fear, or guilt. The ability to regulate or restrain negative effects such as anxiety, anger, and depression is a crucial emotional skill. Emotional resilience helps one to overcome life's inevitable setbacks and upsets. Those who lack emotional self-regulation are continually surrounded by feelings of distress. People beset with emotional intelligence have ability to cope with adverse or distressing emotions and can soothe themselves at the appropriate time. These people can shake off rampant anxiety, gloom, or irritability. One thing is important here, that self-regulation doesn't mean putting emotions on lockdown and hiding your true feelings. Rather, it simply means waiting for the right time and place to express them. In other words, self-regulation is all about expressing your emotions appropriately. People skilled in self-regulation tend to be flexible and adapt well to changing circumstances. These people are found good at managing conflict and diffusing tense or difficult situations. People beset with strong self-regulation skills tend to be high in conscientiousness. That is why they are often found thoughtful about how they influence others and they take responsibility for their own actions. Students, now let us understand the another component of emotional intelligence, that is internal motivation. Internal motivation is to work with little to no pressure from others. Some sources of internal motivation include curiosity or a desire to fulfill your potential. If you are highly internally motivated, the driving force behind your behavior is your own interest. Since your motivation is self-generated, you have more control over your productivity. When you are self-motivated, you have your own interest in learning and self-improvement. For Daniel Goleman, an emotionally mature individual possesses the traits such as having initiative and the commitment to complete a task. Internal motivation driven goals include things such as earning a college degree. Being self-motivated consists of enjoying what you do, working towards achieving your goals, and not being motivated by money or status. Intrinsic motivation or self-motivation is considered an important emotional intelligence skill. Emotionally intelligent people are motivated by things beyond external rewards like fame, money, recognition, and acclaim. Instead, they seek internal rewards and have a passion to fulfill their own inner needs and goals. They are found action oriented, have a high need for achievement, and are always looking for ways to do better. Highly internally motivated tend to be very committed and are good at taking initiative. Students, now let us understand the another aspect, that is empathy. It is the ability that helps an individual to feel for other people. This is the ability that refers to understand other people's emotions and reactions. It is the ability to understand how others feel and to put yourself in someone else's shoes. This empathy can only be achieved if self-awareness is achieved. Goldman asserts that one must be able to understand themselves before they can understand others. To be empathetic means to identify and understand others' emotions. That is, imagining yourself in someone else's position. Empathy enables an individual to understand someone else's hardships or sadness. People with well developed emotional intelligence tend to be empathetic, means they know how to comfort and encourage others. If you are empathetic, you are likely to feel pain when you see others in pain, and pleasure when you perceive others' pleasure. It allows you to connect with others emotionally. It has been observed that leaders who excel in social awareness do practice empathy. These people strive to understand their colleagues' feelings and perspectives, which enables them to communicate and collaborate more effectively with them. A person with high emotional intelligence can accurately identify which emotions another person is feeling. He can tell the difference between genuine and false emotions. He comes to know this difference by noticing certain facial expressions or changes in another person's voice or body language. If someone is feeling sad or hopeless, his immediate reaction may be to treat him with extra care and concern. As a matter of fact, empathy, or the ability to understand how others are feeling, is absolutely critical to emotional intelligence. It involves recognizing the emotional status of others. It is important for guiding your interactions with different people you encounter. Now, students, there is another aspect of emotional intelligence, and that is social awareness. An individual with social awareness has good communication skills, good time management, the ability to be a leader or manage a group of people, and the ability to resolve difficult situations or conflicts using negotiations or persuasion. Thus, the art of relationships requires skill in managing others' emotions. Social competence involves popularity, leadership, and interpersonal effectiveness. Thus, social awareness is a powerful tool that can lead you to fit in, thrive, and potentially become a powerful leader. The skill of managing emotions in others is what is termed as handling relationships. As a matter of fact, a person with higher levels of emotional intelligence may be better at interacting appropriately with others than a person with low levels of emotional intelligence. Higher levels of social awareness can help a person build relationships, communicate with others, and maintain friendships. People who possess strong social skills can build meaningful relationships with others and develop a stronger understanding of themselves and others. Among the important social skills, we include active listening, verbal and non-verbal communication skills, leadership and persuasiveness, etc. It is obvious in professional settings that emotionally intelligent managers benefit by being able to build relationships and connections with employees. Workers also get benefited from being able to develop a strong rapport and relationships with their leaders and co-workers. Now, students, let us know the importance of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence matters as much as intellectual ability when we talk in terms of happiness and success in life. Research evidences are there that our success at work or in life depends on emotional intelligence 80% and only 20% on intellect. It has been observed that not only highly intelligent people are successful in life, sometimes academically brilliant people are found unsuccessful at work. They are found unsuccessful in their personal relationships. In fact, IQ is not enough to achieve success in life. Your IQ can definitely help you in getting higher studies, but it is your EQ, that is emotional quotient, which helps you to manage the stress and emotions when facing your exams. As a matter of fact, emotional intelligence reflects our ability to deal successfully with other people and with our own feelings. Most of the problems in our life, home or at workplaces, are the results of misinterpretation of the involved sentiments, feelings and emotions of the concerned individuals. Daniel Goleman said, if your emotional abilities are not in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you are not able to manage your distressing emotions, that is not being resilient, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then no matter how smart you are not going to get very far. Emotional intelligence not only helps in better career building, but also encourages in developing better relationship and better health in one's life. It is also correlated with lower rates of delinquency, violence and drug use in children and adults. It has also been observed that school children who are helped to improve their emotional skills perform better in achievement tests. Emotional intelligent people tend to have superior self-control along with an ability of self-motivation. They are found as responsible persons and as such life appears meaningful to them. These are the people who manage and express their emotions appropriately. They are assertive, sympathetic and very much caring in relationships. They are found to have a rich and balanced emotional life, capable of managing without much worry. They appear to be gregarious, spontaneous and playful. Goleman asserts that emotionally intelligent individuals are most able to adapt to dynamic environments and therefore most likely to succeed and survive. Emotional intelligence allows people to think more creatively and use their emotions appropriately to solve problems. Daniel Goleman affirms that emotional intelligence appears to be an important set of psychological abilities that relate to life and success. It is empathy and communication skills as well as social and leadership skills which are central to one's success in life and personal relationships. People with high emotional quotient are better valued as productive members of our society. As a matter of fact, people with high emotional intelligence generally have a successful relationship with family, friends, and fellow workers. They are also successful because they overcome setbacks and make use of their appropriate emotions in order to achieve their goals. Therefore, emotional intelligence is closely related to the personal growth of the individuals who sometimes have to take decisions under stressful and difficult situations. Research evidences are there that emotional intelligence can be important in many aspects of a person's life. Higher levels of emotional intelligence can improve a person's physical and psychological health and well-being, social relationships, stress management, general mood, self-expression, emotional understanding, emotional management, work-related outcomes, management skills, and overall job satisfaction. Students with higher levels of emotional intelligence are generally found more happy, sociable, and self-confident, as well as better at handling stress. Emotional intelligence, in fact, helps students develop social relationships in school, which can positively impact their academic performance. People with lower levels of emotional intelligence are found less able to regulate their emotions and may be more likely to use self-harming behaviors like smoking, alcohol, and other drugs, etc., as coping strategies. We cannot deny the scientific fact that emotions precede thought. As a matter of fact, when emotions run high, they change the way our brains function, diminishing our cognitive abilities, decision-making powers, and even interpersonal skills. Hence, understanding and managing our emotions and the emotions of others helps us to be more successful in both our personal and professional lives. Dear students, to conclude, we may say that the theory of emotional intelligence was introduced by two American psychologists, Peter Salovey and John Mayer, in the 1990s, and further developed and brought to the public by the author, psychologist, and journalist Daniel Goleman. Emotional intelligence refers to applying intelligence to our emotions. It refers to a person's ability to understand and manage his or her emotions as well as recognize the emotions or feelings of others. The main areas that it covers are understanding emotions, next one managing emotions, then using emotions to help reach a goal, recognizing emotions in others, and handling relationships. Mayer and Salovey aptly remark, emotional intelligence is the type of social intelligence that involves the ability to monitor one's own and others' emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use the information to guide one's thinking and action. Emotionally intelligent people manage their lives better, have better relationships, are more successful at work, and are generally more content in their lives. Dear students, it was all for today. I hope that you might have liked and enjoyed the session. Thanks.